Hey, what's up you guys? I'm Esther and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making boba from scratch. But first we got to start out with the tea. I know it's going to be a super fun thing for you guys to make this summer when it's getting warmer and when you just have stuff to do on these hot summer days and no schoolwork. So we're going to start out with just a couple ingredients. Here we have 4 cups of milk. I'm using this original almond milk from Silk, but you can use whatever you want. You can even use regular milk, but I make vegan stuff, you know, because I'm vegan. It's crazy. So we're just going to throw that right into the pot. And then we have 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Dark brown sugar is the best, but anything you have works in a pinch. Usually you can find all of these ingredients in your pantry or somewhere in your house, pretty easy. And then a pinch of salt. It enhances flavor, but if you're low sodium or just are not into the salt life, not salty, salt tea, get it? Ha ha ha! Then you don't have to add it. And I have 4 chai tea bags because the base is black tea, but you can use black tea. You could even use white tea if you wanted. But this is going to be the base tea for our boba. And a fun thing to do with these tea bags is just take all of the strings and tie them together so you can only have one thing to pull out in the end. But we'll put it in when this is boiling, okay? So we're going to take this over to the stove, and once it's all simmering, I'm going to stick these tea bags in for about 5 to 7 minutes, and it's going to steep, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, so it took about 10 to 15 minutes to get this to a simmer. I added my tea, I let it sit for 5 minutes, and I'm back with some beautiful, delicious milk tea. I'm going to take it right from this pot and dump it back in here. Beautiful. Wow. That's great. And it's delicious. I did a little taste test. Now that that's all done, I'm going to wrap it up and stick it in the fridge and wait for it to cool down. And then we'll get to the boba part of this brown sugar boba in a little bit. Just make sure you seal it up tight so it doesn't get any of that fridge smell in it. Make sure that it cools down completely before you use it because you want a nice, refreshing, cold tea. Not a lukewarm, nasty tea, because I don't know about you, but I don't like lukewarm tea. It's either got to be hot or it's got to be cold. And by hot, I mean literally on fire. So we're going to just let this cool, and I'll see you in a couple hours. So I am back. It's been a couple hours since I made the tea, and we're ready to make the boba bubbles. So I've got 3 ingredients here. That's all you need, nice and simple. I have brown sugar, 1/4 of a cup. And I have 1/4 of a cup of water and a cup of tapioca starch, which I use this one here. Tapioca flour, tapioca starch. Fun fact, it's the same exact thing. So whichever one you have in your pantry, you're free to use it. So all you gotta do is take the sugar and put it in here, take the water and add it to there, and we're gonna take it over to the stove and cook it down into a simple syrup. We're gonna leave the starch here because we're gonna put it in after it's all cooked. Don't put it in first, otherwise it'll end poorly. Just poorly. That's all I gotta say. Fun cooking facts. This is also how you make caramel, if you didn't know. You just cook it down into a syrup, make it nice and thick. And once it starts bubbling, that's when you wanna throw in your tapioca starch and stir it in, and it'll make kind of a dough. It'll take a second for this to heat up and get to the bubbling point. You wanna make sure all of the sugar is completely melted and that it's forming into like a kind of syrupy texture. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You'll see it. You'll see it as we go. Even now, it's like starting, like all the sugar has completely like melted into the water, and we're stirring it, and it's like getting to this more syrupy consistency. You can see when you drag your spatula through, it leaves a thing that fills slowly, which is where you kind of want to be. We're going to keep stirring for a while though, just make it nice and syrupy, get it a little bit thicker, a little bit denser than it is right now, so we can add our tapioca starch. And you can see baby bubbles forming. Sugar will bubble real fast. Real fast. So, I'm going to keep stirring. And it is this point here where you want to turn this off and add your tapioca starch that I have right over here. We're just gonna add it in. Make sure you get all of it in there. But when you feel it, it'll feel like a cornstarch mixture and want to like have this resistance against your spatula. You want to make sure it all gets incorporated and it's nice and smooth in there. And we're gonna cook it down until it becomes more of a dough-like consistency. Even though, okay, so I've been cooking it a little bit more and it's to this consistency where it is like a dough, kind of like a soft caramel would be. We're gonna leave it on here for just a couple more seconds. I don't think it's gonna get a lot more dense than this, but you're supposed to have extra tapioca starch so you can knead your dough and make sure it doesn't stick together. But yeah, this looks like a pretty good dough to me. It is sticking to itself and not sticking to the pan, and it's creating a great like caramely substance. So if you wanna just come look over here for a second. We're gonna grab some tapioca starch and throw it on this counter. Make sure your hands are nice and clean for this part, kids. Wash your hands every day, every moment. It's good for you and good for whoever is eating your boba. I'm sure, I'm absolutely positive that this is burning hot. So I don't want to touch it because I don't want to hurt myself. Because safety is key. And you don't want to hurt yourself either. Because your safety is key. Because I love you and want you to live a good, happy, healthy life. Okay, so we have this burning hot dough. It is fantastic. I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. But it's looking stupendous. It's looking amazing. At this point, we're going to want to tear off little bits and start making the boba bubbles. So just pull them off in little chunks that are about boba size, form them into a ball, and set them to the side. And we're just going to keep doing this post-haste till we get all of the little boba bubbles that we desire. Alright, so I have my little tapioca babies all rolled up and done with the help of some very special people that I know. Take that any way you like. And I have some boiling water here, and I'm just going to dump these tapioca pearls in here so they can cook and boil and get all nice and stewy. I did put some tapioca flour so they wouldn't stick, but they're sticking anyway. No, we lost a child. Child down. It's fine. The steam. What a struggle, to be honest. Do better than me. Do better than me if you try this at home. So we're going to stir this up. Get my tapioca babies cooking. Get them in a nice warm jacuzzi. And we're just going to stir them up, and they're going to cook here for about 20 minutes till they become more jelly tapioca babies. So I'll see you in 20 minutes to show you how to do the brown sugar syrup and assemble your drink. Alright, so we are back about 20 minutes later. All of the water has all but cooked out and turned into a syrup thanks to the sugar that are in these tapioca bubbles. Now all we gotta do is like make the syrup. The balls are supposed to go in so it can go in the bottom of your container. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna add yet again more sugar. Again, brown, black, dark sugar is the best. But whatever you got works, and we're going to stir that in, and we're going to add another 4th cup of water, and that's going to cook into like a thicker syrup. We're going to have more syrup, and it's just going to be hecka delicious, and you're going to enjoy it. Cook this down for a little bit. Make sure it's nice and sticky and syrupy. You can already see like the dark color in here around the little boba bubbles. They kind of look like beans at this point. We're going to hope that they're nice and tasty because our milk tea from earlier is nice and cold and ready to go. Make sure you got your stove on to a nice temperature so we can whip this syrup into shape. Whip it up. That's how you whip your children into shape. You just stir them in their hearts. Not in a pan. That's mean. Don't put your children in pans. This has been a PSA. So we see some bubbling. It's getting there. We're getting some syrup, nice and tasty, nice and good. I wish you could smell through a camera because it smells nice. Quality. And this is about where you want it to be. You got a nice like pull back, it's called like your fill back ratio, when you like drag your spoon through and how fast it fills back. So that's how it looks. Pull your spoon through, see how slow the thing is, and you are done, ready to make your delicious beverages after many hours of toilless labor. So here we go. We're gonna throw them in a cup. Make sure you get some beans and some syrup. Delicious. 10 out of 10 quality. We're gonna pour in our milk tea. Are you ready? This is the moment. Oh, pour better than me. Do better than me. But this is how it's gonna look. It's beautiful. Just ignore all the milk tea on the counter. Quality lattes. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned how to make boba. If you make it, let me know in the comments below. Tell me how it went. Tell me if you enjoyed it, and if you didn't enjoy it, tell me what would make it better. Tell me what flavor of boba you really like. If you want to follow me on my other social media, my Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat is all ebony.gray. And my other Snapchat specifically for food is Create Art Gain Life, and I'll have them linked in the description below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Love you guys. Bye!